Alright everybody, well we are back on the dyno today with another beautiful 4th gen Camaro. It's actually Jared's, he's over there somewhere, probably not much a camera guy, but this is actually an engine that we did, actually it's been about a year, I think so. It's been about a year since we built this thing. And he just got the car all in and going. And this thing is party, real party. So now I gotta see if it'll make some power. So it's a 6-liter, got some trick flow heads on it, similar to Soccer Mom's engine, but just kind of bigger everywhere, bigger heads, bigger cubic inches. We're gonna try to make some power. Alright, I'm a little jammed into this thing, but we are going to make a mildly boosted pull. So we made like 440 or 450, I don't remember, on like 2.5 pounds boost. So we're going to add 5 pounds of dome pressure to it because this has CO2 based boost control. Probably be like his street tune-up, 5 psi, and then we're gonna dump the tank, put race gas in it, and then make some big power, which I expect it'll probably go, I think the goal is about 1,000 horsepower, and I think it will do that around 16, 18 pounds of boost, but follow along and let's see what happens. Seemed like we had some dome pressure fluctuation, but that was 580. Yes, I think it was the boost going up and down. So I'm gonna look at your PID tuning. But I mean, it's still 580 on like 7 pounds of boost. Like, I think that's probably your pump gas tune. Yeah, I could feel it, and I looked and I saw the boost going, waving, so I'm like, oh, okay, well, we just need to do a little work on the PID tuning. Yep, a little wavy on the boost, but still good power on barely any boost. All right, so we did some boost control testing with the strip chart in the Holley. Boost controller testing, I guess would be a more accurate word. And we found out that we had very erratic boost control. So changed the solenoids, got better, changed the location of the dome pressure sensor to right on top of the wastegate, and now it is perfect. So might have been just a little bit of corrosion in the solenoids just from the age of them and maybe sitting for a while, I don't know. But we fixed it. It's time to make some big power. We also switched it to race gas because we got the street tune figured out. Makes, you know, right at 600 on 5 pounds of boost, I think it was 6 pounds of boost, I don't remember exactly, but you know, spent about an hour chasing things and trying and fixing, and now we're ready to turn the boost up and make big power. So here we go. All right, here we go. was a little smoother. Yeah, so that should have been the same boost. I like it. Whoops. Camera fell down. So we fixed the surge. Made the same power, but same boost. All right, this one ought to make a little more. Boost cuts. Yeah, that was gonna go like probably 700-ish. I cut it 12. Yeah, that was gonna go 7. I'll make that same pull again. Yeah, made 12.5 exactly, and then cut. Whoops. Try this again. And carried it all the way until I lifted at 150 miles an hour. Actually, it peaked right where I lifted. Like I need to run it farther. That was 12.7 on the bottom and then down to 11 running out the back door. That's nice. That's great. Like that, yeah, that's nice. So that was actually 7,200. We shift it regularly at 81. So same stroke crank that's in this thing. All right, 5 more pounds of dome pressure. More boost. Almost. Had a little sag in the middle on boost, but I don't figure out what that is. Should have been about 14. Actually, it was 74.59. Making power. Picked up right at 100. All right, we're gonna hit her with another 5 pounds of dome pressure. See if we can pick up another 100 horsepower. Must not have made much more boost. Well, it was flat that time, but it didn't pick up as much as I thought it was going to. So let's see what it made for boost. So that was 16 pounds of boost. I guess I might have to really kick this thing in the butt. I'm gonna stack 10 pounds of dome on it. Might be that the exhaust side of the turbo is a little restrictive. You don't have a back pressure, do you? Turbo back pressure? That would tell us.
Just talking about that earlier.
Yeah, that would tell us a little bit more.
I dropped it from 5-inch to 4-inch.
Well, back pressure like between the engine and the turbo.
Oh,
So like that'll tell you how restrictive the exhaust side of the turbo is. All right, I'm done playing around. We're gonna hit it with 10 pounds of dome pressure extra this time. Starting to think the exhaust side is choking the engine a little bit. But if I stack it with 10 pounds of dome pressure and it doesn't pick up significant horsepower, then that will be confirmation of that being true. All right, here we go. Probably double check the boost cut. There we go. I think it sneezed the charge pipe off. 909. But I feel like it sneezed the charge pipe off. Yeah, because it was making power. And then it went to making no power. Charge pipe. All right, well, it made 909 rear wheel horsepower, so maybe we just gotta smack this thing with some more dome pressure. That made it, let's see, it rolled over at like 22 PSI, and then the boost had fallen down to 20 and a half by 6,400, and then the charge pipe flew off. So Jared's fixing that. And then we'll make another run. Might turn it up even more. All right, let's see if the charge pipe stays on this time. Pipe stayed on. That was 935 horsepower. All right, so we found out that we were also losing fuel pressure a little bit as the boost went up. Like the fuel pressure was not rising at the same rate that the boost was. So it's basically overworking the fuel pump. The fuel pump can't move enough volume at that higher elevated fuel pressure. So what we are doing is we lowered the fuel pressure on the base fuel pressure so that it will move more volume at the pressure that we actually needed to. Typically electric fuel pumps, the higher pressure you try to set them at, the lower volume they actually move. That's actually backwards for an injector. An injector, the higher fuel pressure, the more fuel it will actually move through it. But the way the fuel pumps work, it's the opposite of that. So we are going to key this thing up, see what it does, leave the dome pressure alone, and see if it will kind of be a little bit smoother, and then see if we can do one more after this one to maybe punch it over 1,000, provided that the fuel pressure stays okay and the duty cycle on the injectors doesn't get too crazy. So, here we go. little bit, but maybe the boost was off a little bit. Download the log and find out. It's probably pretty funny watching my camera fall over doing this stuff. Alrighty, we are gonna try one more. Still kind of running out of fuel, but is managing. Still has plenty of injector to keep the engine fueled. So, we're gonna try. See if we can get it close to 1,000. I don't think it's quite gonna get there, but we're gonna see. Dang. 951. Looks like it kind of came back down at the top. Like, I'm wondering if we have actually found the limit of like airflow through the turbo. Yeah, so the boost came back down to 21 at the top of the pole.
What was it when you first did it?
When it first rolls over on the converter, it's 23, which is where it makes peak power. Like it get to 1,000, but it's just really starting to, I mean, we're at 63% duty cycle. Yeah, like oil pressure looks freaking great. I mean, that kind of power at 20 pounds of boost, or 21 pounds of boost is pretty freaking good.
Is it?
I think so. All right, well, that's gonna wrap up the dyno runs on Jared's Hot Rod 4th Gen Camaro. All in all, pretty happy with that. He's done a super good job of making this thing really pretty under the hood. We're gonna go out to the track with him at some point and try to go fast. I think he's gonna change his fuel pump though, to try and fix that running out of fuel pressure thing. It's kind of important to have fuel pressure. But that's gonna wrap up this video. Let me show you why I love turbo cars. Just one quick thing. Wake up, computer. Please? Ah. So bottom line, basically like 2 pounds of boost, 437 horsepower. And we just kept going up and up and up and up and up with just boost. So you take the car out, it runs, I don't know, probably upper 10s with 437 wheel horsepower. Maybe a little slower because it's geared to go 165 miles an hour. But yeah, just by adding boost, more than doubled the horsepower. And to me, this is a telltale sign of it running out of turbo, because it made more power down here at lower RPM, and then as the RPM came up, the exhaust side was choking the turbo. Well, the exhaust side was choking the engine, and she didn't make any more power, even though it showed another 2 PSI boost. So, like I said, that's gonna wrap up this video. Thanks again for watching. See you guys next time.